So it's just going to be quite a simple training, this one, but it's quite interesting actually. It's like it's a little insight into something that not only is going to be useful for our clients, but actually would be useful for ourselves as individuals as well. So there's 168 hours in a 7-day week, 168 hours. Now let's imagine that we need to sleep 8 hours a night. So if we sleep 8 hours a night over those 7 days, that is 56 hours of sleep that we have got. And let's imagine that we are working the average working week, which is 40 hours a week. We take that 168 hours that we have over the space of a week, and we minus the 56 for sleep, and we minus the 40 that we need to work, and we have 72 hours. 72 hours per week outside of sleep and outside of work. That's a lot. That's a lot. You know, that's just over 10 hours a day. Just over 10 hours a day, right? Now, of course, as human beings, as social creatures, as people that rely on having a family and people around us, and being reliant on tasks, needing to go somewhere, needing to do something, needing to achieve something, naturally, the time that we have outside of sleep and work, it needs to be filled. It needs to be filled. We have responsibilities. I fully understand that. Your client has responsibilities, you have responsibilities, I have responsibilities. However, 72 hours, that's a long time. And what happens a lot of the time is we convince ourselves that the time in which we have outside of sleep and outside of work is jam-packed, it's completely full. Our clients, they convince themselves they don't have enough time. They convince themselves that they are run off their feet, that their diary is jam-packed. I don't have enough time to breathe even, let alone focus on those goals. So what I want you to do is I want you to introduce your clients to that equation that I just showed you, to show them that there is 72 hours there. There is 72 hours. Now, how your client chooses to spend that time, of course, is completely up to them. And they will naturally have responsibilities outside of work and outside of sleep. Perhaps you have kids. I'm a dad now. I fully understand what that's like. You need to give your time and you need to give your attention. However, 72 hours though. 72 hours. The reason I'm highlighting this so much is because what I want you to do as the coach is I really want you to highlight to your clients that if they do want to achieve their goals and they want to progress and move forward and find success, do not let them convince themselves that there is absolutely no time to do it. Because even if we are to salvage 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours a week, even if we are to claw back 1 hour a week, what we now understand is that those hours have been taken from a pool of 72. That's a long time. 72 hours outside of sleep, outside of work, to work on our dreams, work on our goals, work on bettering ourselves, work on our personal development. Now, I would bet, and this is not a bad thing, we're human beings, I would bet, and I can imagine that your client is actually spending a very large part of that 72 hours doing something that isn't going to be progressing their goals. Maybe a lot of time in front of the TV, maybe a lot of time down the pub, maybe a lot of time doing something that isn't quite going to get us to the place in which we want to be. And those things are really necessary because we need that downtime, we need that relaxation, we need to be able to switch off. However, 72 hours, 72. There is a segment of time that we can spend on pure downtime, and there is also a segment of time we can spend on responsibilities. And I can bet there will be a segment of time that can be spent on that personal development and achieving those goals, because 72 is a lot over the course of a week. Introduce that equation to your clients, get them to calculate it, get them to figure it out, get them to find the 72 hours, and you will have just saved them a very large chunk of time inside of their own minds that will give them the breathing space that is required for them to progress and move forward towards their goals.